he woman,
right?
and brought her unto the man.
Where he bring her from?
The rib.
Surgery is taking place here. Where he bring her from? He said he took his rib, went and fashioned it, and brought it back home. Let me show you something. Nope. All of what them goats was doing and them cows. Look what you got.
Hallelujah. Selah, which brings us to verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone,
right?
and flesh of my flesh. She should be called woman, because she was taken out of man.
So now we got some that teach, well, there's, when Isaac went to get Rebecca, who is the Malin, he said, now this is bone of my bone and flesh. All it was talking about is cousins. Or they saying right here, Eve was a cousin to Adam, because this language is used further down the line. Good. This is now bone of my bone. Well, where did she come from, then?
Right.
Cousin Eve. Cousin Eve. So we're going to see what the quotes of Adam said about Eve himself, so we don't have to guess where she came from. We're going to skip chapter 3, y'all. That's a whole nother topic. Chapter 4, y'all, of Genesis. And y'all, when we're talking about scriptures preceding each other, you read about something, and then you read the next chapter, and it sounds like, wait a minute, didn't I just read that? 1 Kings, I'm going to write these down. Y'all read these and understand that the same thing always happened over in the Bible. 1 Kings 7, all of that, you can really start at 13. And then, when you read 1 Kings 6, 7 sounds like it's preceding 6. Also, Daniel chapter 9. Yeah. All the 9, we do all the 9. Daniel chapter 11 precedes chapter 9. You get into 11, you be like, wait a minute.
So it's not written in sequential order necessarily.
It's not written there because you read right through it and think you done. It'll be on the shelf. Genesis today. Just like they do in church today. We want you to read one book a month. And then you read your Bible. So you start in Genesis and you get all the way up. And you never go back to study the law and everything. So now you're in the New Testament. How you going to prove the law in the New Testament when all it is revealing of the Old? That's why Christ constantly says, as it is written. Where was it written at? So if you go through month by month and you read it straight through, it goes on the shelf with your other books. So the Most High twisted it up and confused it. When he confused it, he meant for it to be that way. So we would struggle with supplication and beg for his mercy, that we may understand his word. Not that we can boast about, I know everything, and that's why it's up on my shelf. No, them other books up there, Perfect Life Drip. How can I feast the flock? Joel Osteen secrets. You know how you going to put this up there with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's get some more of this. Where we at? Chapter 4, verse 1. Let's get that, y'all. Run out of time.
Chapter 4, Genesis, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife.
Right.
And she conceived and bare Cain. Right. And said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
Right.
And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel a keeper of sheep. But Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time.
In what?
In process of time.
What does in process of time mean?
Over a period of time.
Something, time is passing by. Right. In process of time. So what they try to do is belittle Cain's time into a time that, well, Adam and Eve weren't populating, so it got to be the people from the 6th day that he went. But right here we're seeing in the process of time. There's multiplication. Right. 70 souls of Israelites went into Egypt. For 400 years, how many come out? 2 point what million? 6 million, what? How many what? 2 million plus the strangers in that amount of time. Let's get it. Where we at?
In process of time, it came to pass.
It came to pass. So it's telling you after a while, this event happened. Let's go.
That Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
See, right here, sin had entered into the world. Chapter 3 is Adam and Eve sinning, gobbling up what they ought not have been. Spiritually, the fruit of lies. Secondly, some other things going on. But we'll save a class for that because there's some understanding we really need to hammer out concerning that. Let's get it.
And Abel, he also bought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering.
Right?
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well.
If thou do what?
If thou doest well.
What's wrong with what Cain is doing? Why is he being questioned? What does this have to do with Cain's offering? Because the Most High requires a certain sacrificial offering. You can't bring no potatoes and small fruit. Bananas here been bit off of. Let's get some more.
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
What lieth at the door?
Sin lieth at the door.
Is this in the early parts of Genesis, right outside being thrown out of the garden? What lieth?
Sin.
What is sin, y'all?
Transgression of the law.
What is that? This is what has to be dealt with before any discussion goes on. If any other doctrines out there, they have a list of what they call sin. How you going to use the Bible's definition for sin and you railing against it? What is their definition of sin? Where does it come from?
Right.
Smoking, drinking,
Short skirts.
dancing, clubbing. Let's get some more of this. Go ahead, y'all. You got about 30 minutes. Go ahead.
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass.
See, there's more time passing. Let's go.
When they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him.
What he do?
Slew him,
One
killed
of the
him.
same terms we use today. Rose up against him and slew him. Let's go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother?
And a lot of them ask, well, how the Lord don't know where he at?
And he know everything.
Your mama do the same thing. Your daddy do the same thing.
Didn't I tell you?
No, they ask the question, where my kids? You think they know where it's at? It's in your stomach.
Right.
With their Pepsi and the other stuff you done ate up what's supposed to.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not.
So lie right there, just one.
That was
That
the
sin lies at the door. When the police interrogate you, y'all have seen verse 48. Don't they ask you about the homicide at first? You know about the killing of Rufus Johnson?
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
I got an alibi. Oh, okay. But they already got it. Let's get some more.
Where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper?
Oh, now he wants to get small. I'm supposed to be keeping up with him. He's sacrificing to you. You ought to know where he at. I should be keeping up with it. Let's get some more.
And he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground.
See, the voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me to the ground. Same thing we hear in Revelation 6 and 9 of the souls of these all. Their blood crying. Because what's in the blood? Life. I hear his life crying from the ground. It's why blood you can't get rid of. You can blow bleach down and you can try to bleach it, they can tell. You've been trying to get rid of life that you done took. You're trying to get rid of it. All we got to do is get some infrared and we can see the life. It was around here. You can't get it out of all them cracks. No more can you get wet dog dung out of the bottom of your new Jordans. Some of it ain't coming out of the cracks. Let's get it, Tom. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth.
What is he?
Cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
Right?
When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth.
What is a fugitive and a vagabond?
Always on the run.
Runaway.
Looking back over your shoulder. America most want to come on and you just out of nowhere just throw your Timberland at the screen and
George Zimmerman. Yeah. Or it's like when you drive in and you see those cherry lights in the rear view mirror. And you get suddenly dismayed, sudden loss of spirit. Right. Sudden loss of bond money.
Especially if it's 2014 and your place in 2013. Let's get some more of this.
13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
So right now, Cain understands sin and punishment for sin. This is way back then because to keep the law, you have to know how to fix your transgression. Abel knew how to do that, and he did it consistently. Cain is now saying, my sin is too bad. How do I fix what I've done? But this was a major one, y'all. He sinned and committed murder early on. This is a felony sin.
Right.
He says it's more than I can bear. Everybody gonna be looking at me the same way everybody still talks about O.J. Simpson, a murderer.
Yep.
It's the same way. You can't get away when you wander around because you've done these things. When they bombed the abortion clinic, where you run up to?
Mountains.
Up into the mountains. Sneak back down and digging up McDonald's dumpsters.
Yep.
Till that Rudolph finally got caught. But he ran to a strange land where no population is at because he can't be seen. Who is he worried about finding him unless we can prove the man on the sixth day existed somewhere in the land of Nod? It's got to be genealogy somewhere. It must be for him to be concerned about that. The only ones we concerned about is who you done told you killed somebody. That's why we tell you done done that, don't tell me. I don't want to be on the silence list. Because you done told me. Let's read a little bit more of this.
Verse
then I'm going to
14.
Acts 28. And we're going to see what Paul saying the same thing happened, what the word was on how people flee when murder follow you.
Verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth.
Right?
And from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
So for everyone that finds you because you committed murder in right outside the Garden of Eden or wherever Adam and Eve were banished to outside of the garden, the news must be broadcast to everybody that you have this concern. What else would you have a concern for? If it's just Adam and Eve and Abel, you killed him. Who was he worried about? Adam tracking him down? Eve tracking him down? But as if we gather to the end of Genesis, you will see that Eve's birth was multiple conceptions. A lot of twins born. A lot of twinning going on early on. And it says as time came to pass, and we're going to get to what happened to his wife. We're going to understand the no part. We're going to let the Bible explain no. Not that he went over there, hey, my wife said, no, I in the land is now. Hey, I'm on the run.
What's your
Get him
name?
Right. If you think that's the kind of no. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 16. No, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
Right.
Lest any finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord, and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden.
See, this is on the east of Eden, in the land of Nod. It's still on the east side. So we're still in this same area. So the question is, when does the existence, if you believe in a dual creation, where is this man and woman on the sixth day, or these people, or he would have brought them up? Some kind of way that he's concerned about this group of people finding him. Let's read a little bit more of this.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
17. And Cain knew his wife.
And he did what?
Knew his wife.
Right?
And she conceived.
Hold it right there. Knowing and conceiving is right together. We just read the beginning of 4. And Adam knew his wife and she conceived. So,
To know means what?
what does no mean?
No.
What? If we get a dictionary, it means sexual intercourse or the drinking to the knowledge. So, conception, how did he know her? And the key said that Cain got to Nod and he knew his wife. It didn't say he met her. Why does the term met her there, or saying she must have been there? That's how the connection was. When you vanish, everybody go with you. When Lot was banished, who went with him?
His wife, right?
So y'all, it's gonna go. When Jacob left his wife and children with him, you don't just burn out. When they throw Hagar and Ishmael out, they left together, didn't they?
Yeah.
Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son, Enoch.
So right here they say it must have been civilization there because he came in and built a city. Y'all, this is time passing. And when we're talking about city in the Hebrew back in the day, it's just a walled village. He built a walled village and had his firstborn. And most of it, like you get to the book of Josephus, he was more concerned with wild animals and beasts slaying him, killing him. And when you read the same thing about Lot and his daughters, they actually were supposed to go to Zohar, but they were worried about wild beasts there. And then they ran up into the mountains. And that's when the daughters, seeing all that destruction down there, say, it can't be nobody left on earth. No, they was thinking that there ain't no more righteous men around on earth. So we think. So our father's a righteous man. He must have got saved, because if the thought was anything else, they wouldn't have got him drunk if it was a righteous move.
Right.
But from those two children, what came from those two children?
Ammon and Moab.
Is that a whole nation? From what? Was that a whole tribe too that left alone?
No.
Was Esau started as a whole tribe of people?
Nope.
Person. Same thing with Ham.
And Shem and Japheth. Let's get it. Because this the deal, y'all. If y'all have to have a whole tribe of people, when the whole world is destroyed by the flood, either it's what they call locality or it's global. One or the other. Because you're saying it's only destroying Noah and these people. And so there was other people still on the earth, chilling, and the flood just went through there and wiped them out.
Right.
No.
Y'all know.
It ain't gonna fit. Not in this book. You can make it fit for something else, but it ain't gonna fit here. Because the rainbow is in the sky for the flood. To warn every man, I will never destroy the earth again by water.
By water.
So you get a rainbow every time after a major storm. Just let you know. Yeah, a few of them died down there, but it ain't the end of the world. So that was a promise to every beast. Because if it was locality, then they can say the rainbow curse was broken. Because we died. You may think it's the end of the world like lots of children would, but it was not. It was only the end of the world for the sinning that was taking place in Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's get it. Where we at? Verse what?
Let me give them this, Daniel. For y'all that know about the Hebrew dictionary, Nod, when it said the land of Nod, is found in 5112 in the Hebrew dictionary.
Right.
The Hebrew word Nawad. So when it says the land of Nod or Nawad, it means the land of wandering.
Right.
Exile, meaning they were outside civilization. He wasn't amongst his family anymore. He was in the land east of Eden, wandering around. Some people say, well, the land of Nod, who was Nod? Nod just simply means to wander around or exile. That's why his son had to build a city.
Right.
So they had to rebuild their own community or whatnot.
If that's the case, we need to know there has to be civilization recorded
Land of
or not.
What's the Hebrew word?
No, H5112. H5112. It says wonder. The land of wonder. Land of Nod.
Give me Acts 28 and 1, y'all. We're gonna roll through this. We got about 20 minutes, about 700 seconds. And we're gonna see this same thing of fleeing. And the knowledge of who you're finding out is murder, but there has to be somebody there. And like, we can't do your homework for you. That's your job, if you believe that, to come up with their lineage. You have to. Or we're going to play the guessing game. But we're going to hit a few scriptures, y'all, that point to Adam being who Genesis 6 talk about. Genesis 1 and 26, y'all. We're going to hit some bangers right hard, and then you make up in your own mind whether you choose to believe at this point or come up with that genealogy. Because we got a genealogy of the angels. Satan took a third. So there's 2/3 somewhere else. So there's a whole number of angels. So we want to find out how many it is. Let's find out how many Satan convinced to pull and move with it. And then add that times 2. And you know how many angels were created. Let's get it. Where we at?
I got a question right here.
You got a question?
It's not a question, it's more of a statement. About the land of Nod and where Cain found his wife at. I asked that question for years and not one Sunday pastor come to answer it. It only came from studying for your own stuff.
They wouldn't answer.
Right, nobody knew. They kept coming up with all kind of stuff. But no Sunday pastor could give one inkling home on the land of the Nile or where he found his wife.
They probably looking at you like, what you want to know about Nas for? That's for the kids.
You don't think it's alive?
That's what you're thinking about. We don't talk about that sitting place around here.
Right.
We don't talk about that.
Just like we won't mention Revelation. We don't mention Christ's destruction.
Gotta be learned and studied.
It don't say you found her though.
Acts 28, right. It never says that. What you got, Aladale? What you say? What you got?
Don't say that again.
He didn't find her. It don't say that.
She was with him.
She was all right with him. So when they left, he took them, y'all get on up out of here. Did Adam leave by himself?
No.
Who doesn't go and eat?
His wife.
His wife left. What's him out?
About his sister.
Oh, right there, it was twin people. We're going to get a little bit more here. We're going to see that Adam had many sons and daughters. Josephus said 33 sons and 23 daughters. You're seeing the bloodline of where mankind was redeemed, but Adam had many sons, and we're going to see this in the Bible.
How many Gideon had?
So look, and this the deal. Well, then immediately they go to the Lord. Well, Moses said in Leviticus 18, no incest. No incest. The reason for that law is whenever you study this Bible from front to finish, there's never no mother and son love. Never no father and daughter love. It's always been an abomination. But sister and brother, when both your parents are pure, there's less degenerate cells in that child that'll be born. Today, you get with your blood sister, waterhead baby. Because we're loaded with sin. That's the only reason Abraham was able even to come close to Sarah. They were well past the years of what we're talking about, and Abraham was made perfect. His name was changed, and Sarah's name was changed. Just like in the kingdom, your name will be changed, and you go into righteousness. A name change is saying God has changed your name because you're on His team now. So their son being born close together like that is the same repopulation of the 8 individuals getting off the ark. If you have to say Adam was with a whole tribe, then you have to explain that flood was either local or it was global, and there was other nations out there when them 8 got off the ark. Because y'all repeating our same arc story. So if you believe that 8 populated this world we live in today, why was it so hard for the two?
For the two.
If you believe Ammon and Moab came from the daughters of Lot,
Right.
that's the whole nation, ain't it? 70 souls of us went down to Egypt. Look at us now. It's more than 70 in period. From one set of loins.
One set of
You can go down to Harrisburg and you can see a picture of a man called Uncle Bob. He was a breeder. 600 children on one plantation.
Oh, yeah.
That was his job.
Right?
When they took him to the old folks home, he thought he was going to get busy. He was walking, hips getting wound up. Ain't no more for you. Because he was just used to, they would put him in a car and take him, and he would just breathe. Look up Harrisburg, Illinois, and Uncle Bob. You can Google it now. Jay Chelsea, what you got, Hope? What's up, old Israel? So Israel, y'all.
Jose.
I'd like to thank, not breaking up studies, I'd like to thank everybody for their prayers and for me and my spouse.
How many years we done?
45 years.
45 years. Y'all know that was a terrible ripping apart.
But on the feet of the Most High. What they call Christmas Eve is just another day to me. You know, but I bring brothers and sisters down to learn that we study the Word.
That's right.
The book says in James 1, I think 1:18 or 1:25, be a doer.
That's right.
I brought this sister down and explained that this is Tony. I explained it like I have explained to the brothers here. This is not a love fest. Oh man, I want to see her. We are supposed to be doers of the word. That's right. You know, I just told her to come down and finally got her to come in and meet everybody to learn how we study and do the word. And I was telling about reputation.
Ain't no rappers down here.
About 25 years ago down at Harry Barber service, Bo was dressed up in this kosher cloth. Boys broke off a little bit of this script. He's like, wait a minute, he asked Harry Barber. He's like, what college them brothers? Harry them ain't went to no college. He just studied the script. And was ever since. That quick in the barbershop cutting before I was finished, he was, and they would force us over to his crib for study. Come and pick it up. Jake was playing softball, he's sitting on the floor.
Oh, he calls.
In the back seat. But actually kidnapped us for instruction.
Oh, he's better pulling the OG stuff.
Let's get it back, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's catch right back up. We ain't got but a few minutes here. You know the Easter clause. What? They gonna have a lot of it for this Kwanzaa celebration coming on. A lot of Kuta cloth will be out.
Now, what you said, look up the guy when he was doing all the breathing, I thought you were right up to Uncle Bob.
Bob, yeah. Yeah, just
Right,
what
Uncle
was
Bob
it,
was there.
what is it, the Hebrew one?
Yeah, on YouTube, channel.
Right. Mr. Hebrew one, right.
And that was a slip of the tongue by Ozell on Reverend Daniel.
Well, they do the same thing you do.
Right, it's more Deacon Daniel.
Y'all look that up and y'all see the old slave house. There's an actual slave house that was built in Harrisburg, Illinois by the biggest slave owner this side of the Western Hemisphere, Master Crenshaw. Biggest plantation, Abraham Lincoln stayed there. It's in its official state. And he's on film saying this house was made by the best black carpenters. The best black nailmakers, and it's still sitting on solid foundation this many years later. Same thing with the White House. Same thing by these same individuals. And you see all of the back-breaking tools and different things.
And Uncle Bob's breeding room.
And his breeding room.
Most I seen a tornado through there like last year. It flies down. I go downtown, like flat in Harrisburg. Illinois. The plans, the house still standing.
To show. And then you'll see the hanging tree out front. Ain't nothing going on, just dripping with blood. Blood dripping, crying from the ground, just like anything. Crying from the ground. What you got?
Like the brothers and sisters who don't have problems raising kids.
What?
You don't have what?
God asked the sisters to come. They don't have problems.
Don't have one.
You don't have a problem.
Those of y'all who got